My first word is a word of gratitude. I feel grateful to the organizers of the India Diaspora for this beautiful opportunity. I wish this was an interactive session, but since we all have been given limited time, I would leave some questions with you right at the outset. These questions, carry them with yourself. And when you get time, self-introspect on these questions. Introspect on these questions. The first question is, what does goodness mean to me? Is it necessary? Is it important for me to be good? Am I on a sailboat that am I on a rowboat that has to be pushed into goodness? Or am I on a sailboat that moves with the wind? Or am I on a motorboat that moves on the path of goodness irrespective of weather or force? What motivates me to follow and stay on the path of goodness? What are the glimmers? And what prevents me? What triggers me to move away from the path of goodness? Today, when you get time, you must ask yourself these questions. Goodness is innate in each and every one of us. We all feel and experience goodness effortlessly. But when thoughts of I, me, myself overpower me, then my true nature gets clouded and I lose my focus, my purpose and joy. In Hindu philosophy, there is one word that inclusively describes all aspects of goodness. What is that one word? That one word is dharma. And dharma, stated simply, is right thinking, right action, and right intention. As I said, goodness is embedded in each one of us. And when we act on it, we follow, we tread the path of dharma. But this requires courage. Courage to be true to our own innate goodness. How many of us present here dare to be ourselves? But sometimes we move away from this path, we deviate. We let our lower self overpower us. And then we become slaves to fear, to anxiety, to stress, to tension, to mental illnesses, and now we have come to the stage of depression. But when we tread the path of dharma, we let the higher self take over and we feel strong, we feel balanced, we feel stable. Goodness, it leads to oneness. I realize that I am not separate from the others. I am but a part of the one whole. I realize that I am interconnected. We are linked to each other by an invisible thread. The same energy that flows into me flows into each and every one of you. Today, we live in a world of globalization where we can connect easily and freely with one another, isn't it? We should be living in harmony. But what is our condition? We have become, in fact, more apathetic to the needs of each other. Instead of using globalization as a tool to unite, to bring us together. We are using it as a tool to divide, and therefore we have all this chaos and confusion today. How do we ensure that we let the higher self always take charge of our lives? And I would wish to pass on to you 6 short practical tips. I will not pause to give you illustrations because we are already running short of time. The first practical tip is, let us all learn to grow in self-awareness. Let us be aware of the consequences of every thought that we think, every word that we utter, every action that we perform. Remember, every thought that we think is a seed that we are sowing in the field of our life. And as we sow, so shall we reap. Every choice we make has a consequence. Therefore, be careful of every choice that you make. There was a Zen monastery, and the head, the Zen master, he admitted a new disciple. And the disciple said to him, I am a wood carver. And the monk said to him, since you are a wood carver, can you carve me a beautiful wood Buddha? And the wood carver was so thrilled to do that. He worked tirelessly for days together, and he carved out an exquisitely beautiful wooden Buddha. And when he took it to the master said to him, this is not what I asked for. And then it is that the novice realized that what the teacher meant was that I have to carve my life into a Buddha, and that can be done only through self-awareness, awareness of the thoughts we think, the words we utter, and the actions we perform. Let us move on to the second practical tip. Let us grow in the spirit of gratitude. If we observe ourselves, all of us, if we are true to ourselves, we will see that every day there are so many things we are continuously rowing about. We are rowing about all the things that we lack and that we desire, and we miss out on the abundance of life that we experience. Let us learn to grow in the spirit of gratitude, not only to grow in the spirit of gratitude, but to express it. Because if we don't express gratitude, it is like packing a gift for a friend and not giving it to her. Therefore, let us grow in the spirit of gratitude. There was a man, he was moving around with his friends with a gloomy disposition, and this went on for a couple of days. Finally, his friend said to him, why are you gloomy? And what did this man say? He said, 1 month back, my uncle passed away. And he left me $20,000 in his will. And they said, then why are you sad? He said, 15 days back, my aunt passed away. And she left me $50,000 in the will. And they said, you're still sad? He said, I'm sad because no one has passed away this week. This is our condition. Let us move on to the third practical tip. And the third practical tip is, let us see the good in all. Once again, if we analyze ourselves, what will we find? We find that we are drawn to the faults of others. We overlook the goodness in everyone, even when we overlook the goodness that is within us. Let us see the good in us and the good in others, in everyone, and we will never have mental health problems. Learn to see the good. When we see defects in others, we are drawing them to ourselves. When we see defects in others, we are judging them, and we are separating ourselves from them. Instead of judging people, let us grow in understanding. I will not pause to give you all more stories. There is no time. Let us move on to which practical suggestion? Number 4. The 4th practical suggestion is, let us grow in forgiveness. Nothing can make goodness flourish more than the attitude of forgiveness. We hold on to hurts, grudges, resentments until it turns into hatred. And what does this do? It clogs our emotional arteries. Forgiveness helps us to clear these blocks so that love can flow into us and we can experience good physical health, good emotional health, and above all, the best spiritual health. Let us move on to the 5th practical suggestion. The 5th practical suggestion is, open your heart to love. What is it that the world needs today? It is love, but not the love that we relate to. When we talk of love, what do we say? So and so has fallen in love. But true love makes you rise. It doesn't make you fall. True love is not a wimpy love, a selfish love, a conditional love. True love is a sacrificing love, an unselfish love, a giving love, a forgiving love. Love in action, love that expresses itself in compassion, compassion with passion. You all must have heard the name. Okay, let me not again go because there is no time. And we come to the 6th practical suggestion. The 6th practical suggestion is, nourish your soul. There was a woodcutter and he was in search of a job, and he hears there is a timber merchant who's in need of people. He goes to him, applies for a job, and he gets it. And the timber merchant on the first day gives him an axe, and he allocates an area to him, and he says to him, take this axe and go and fell down trees. He goes, the first day he's able to cut 20 trees. And he comes and he reports to the merchant, and the merchant says to him, well done, this is the way to go forward. He feels motivated. He says, next day, I will surely do better. But the next day, he's able to cut only 18 trees. He feels a little disappointed. The very next day, the number reduces to 17 and then to 15. Finally, he goes to his boss and he says to him, I am putting in more effort, I am putting in more time, but now I have lost my motivation. Why is it that on the first day I could fell 20 trees, but now the number is reducing? And the timber merchant said to him, have you paused to sharpen your axe? This is what we do. Today we are getting busier than ever and less happier than ever, because maybe we don't have the time to pause. Work is very necessary. Hard work is very necessary. Activity is very, very essential. But along with that, we need to pause and nourish our soul, because it is the soul, it is the energy of the soul. When it flows into us, this human body can function. Otherwise, the body is only a vehicle. The mind is only an instrument. If we need to function effectively, we need to nourish our soul. And what is the mark of a person who nourishes the soul? The mark of such a person is, possessions will not own him, will not define him, will not bind him. He will enjoy them, he will use them, but he will not be fettered by them. He will not become their slave. My dear friends, goodness is the investment that can never fail. It is the fertile soil in which the seeds of a new world order can be sown, a world full of peace and plenty, a world full of love and laughter, a world full of hope and healing. We live in a world of shining matter. Everything in this world emits light. But what about us? We too have a light, and that light is goodness. Let us emit this light. Now, before we close, let us reconnect with this goodness that is embedded within us. We will close with a 3 to 4 minute meditation by just reconnecting to the meditation, to the goodness that is within us. Whenever you practice it in your homes, just close your eyes for a few brief moments. Forget who's sitting to your left, to your right. When you practice this at home, give yourself a few minutes to relax your physical body and, most importantly, to still your mind. Take in a few deep breaths. We will not do that today because we are having a paucity of time. Just close your eyes. Try to be relaxed in body and mind. Try to keep both your feet on the ground. Let them gently touch the floor. And close your eyes. Visualize a pond, clear and still within you. This pond is your goodness. It is always there within you. It is uncontaminated, untainted, untouched. It is shimmering with light. But sometimes, just note this, sometimes the surface of the pond, it gets covered with our selfishness. It is as if a fog covers this pond, but beneath the surface, the pond is clear, the waters are clear, the waters are still. Visualize the light of the sun, the light of positivity, the light of love, the light of God, clearing all selfishness, all negativity, all fear. And this selfishness disappears like mist melts before the morning sun. Now, visualize yourself seeing your true self, seeing your inner beauty, experiencing true love, true joy, true peace, true purity, and true strength. As you breathe in, feel the light growing stronger. Feel your entire being radiating with that light. Carry this light with you today. Let it shine in your thoughts, in your words, in your actions, and above all, in your presence, so that wherever you go, you carry that goodness with you. Thank you so much, Dada Sham.